NFL great Cleveland Gary, today's guest, scored the most touchdowns in the NFL in 1990, playing for the Los Angeles Rams, 2022 Super Bowl contenders. Now he runs a credit bureau designed to help people rebuild their credit. He also shares his insights about his superpower, faith in God. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. Welcome to the Superpowers for Good show. Cleveland, it is such an honor for me to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, it's nice to be here, Devin. I'm very honored that you invited me on your famous podcast. It's truly an honor.
Well, the honor is all mine. I'm excited to air this on the Thursday before the Super Bowl. And your alma mater, if you will, is playing in the big game. You played for Los Angeles back in the day. Tell us a little bit about your experience playing for the team and how you feel about the team playing in the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's always exciting when your alma mater is playing in the Super Bowl. You know, I got my start in the NFL with the Rams, as a first-round draft pick. And that's what I know, I mean, I enjoyed every minute of it. And to see them back in the Super Bowl, it's like you're there with them, I know what it feels like to wear that those gold pants, yellow pants and the blue stripes and the blue shirt. So it's like you're there with them, actually, in person. It's hard not to feel a part of it, Devin. It's just hard. I mean, it's just reality. You've been there. You know what it's like to run out of the locker room, run onto the field, and hear the crowds roaring and see them chanting and jumping up and down. I mean, I've been there. I did it. I've done it. So I can embrace the moment with them once that happened.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. But it is a thrill for us to be able to have an opportunity to visit with you today. And we're excited about all the things you're doing. You have had an extraordinary career. Before we jump into some of your business, I wonder if we could just think a little bit about if you'd share some of the lessons maybe you learned from sports, especially your time in the NFL, that you have applied in business.
Yeah, I mean, sports is very competitive, number one. Number two, there's no way to cheat and cut corners, because the world is always watching you 100% of the time. You're talking about millions of people turning on that TV dial, and it's authentic. The best man wins, and that's the way it is. You can't add anything to it. You can't take anything away from it. And I think that's what fans and many corporate CEOs are intrigued by, the fact that, you can perform at a level that no one else can. So what is he thinking? How does he get there? What makes that happen? It's pretty intriguing, but it's a gift. And without question, it's hard work. And you learn a lot of lessons in life. It's the little things. You learn how to suck it up, play in pain, how to overcome a lot of adversity on and off the field. It's quite an experience, but well worth it.
Well, it is. I appreciate you sharing some of those lessons, because those all resonate with me, even though I have no, professional sports background. But I appreciate you and how you have drawn those lessons from your experiences, and obviously they've contributed to your success. But one of the things that you're most engaged with now is Ecredit. It's a new credit bureau that is intended, I think, to help people recover from credit trouble in a way that is honest, transparent, fair, but that can really make a difference in people's lives. Tell us about Ecredit.
Ecredit, being a new credit bureau that has its own lending division, and the object of Ecredit is to help the millions of people. When you do, your research, the numbers are staggering of the inaccuracies that are on people's credit report. And when we did our research, we discovered that over 80% of the American population have inaccuracies on their credit report, which therefore causes higher interest rates on their mortgages or auto loans or personal loans. And you have some people that have a great job, do very well, have the influx of cash coming into that home every month, but something bad happened in their lives at one point or another. Either they got in, either they got a divorce, got sick, got laid off their job for quite some time, and it affected their credit report. And as you know, Devin, 30 days late stays on your credit report authentically for 7 years. And it's an antiquated system when it comes to the credit bureau. It doesn't matter who you are. The credit bureau doesn't discriminate against anybody, but it's just a system. It's antiquated. It needs to be revised so it can make it easier on the American, everyday 9 to 5 working American. And so we created a system where you can revive, you can redeem yourself. Our credit scoring model has a redemption plan. If you're 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days, even all the way up to 4 months, which is 120 days late, we have a redemption plan. Meaning if you make a certain amount of payments on time, consistently, 30 days late, you make 6 months payment on time, you accredited back those 25 points, and now you've regained that perfect Ecredit credit score. 2 months, 60 days, you make 12 months. 1 year consistent payments on time, you regain those 50 points back to a perfect credit score. It's all about redeeming yourself. And our definition of credit character at Ecredit is redeeming yourself, getting back on your feet, making consistent payments. That substantiates credit character, not being perfect and having to suffer for 7 years. And as you know, man, I mean, 100 years is not that long. People want to enjoy a quality life, and you don't want the system to just constantly suppress them. It's not good. It's stressful. It can cause health problems. 7 years to be 30 days late is a long time to suffer and to having to pay a higher interest rate.
It your platform is available for anyone and everyone, uh, regardless of race, creed, color, religion, et cetera, et cetera. But I wonder if the systemic challenges that African Americans face in our country have in any way motivated you to create a system that gives African Americans a fair chance, uh, that remedies some of the systemic challenges that they face. Is that part of the motivation for you?
I can't say that it ever was, Devin, but when you do research, the facts are the facts. And you have to let the cards fall where they fall. And when you have 14 million African American homes and 54% of those homes are renters with an average monthly rent payment of $1,600, which equates to around 8 billion or something dollars, and you have the other 44%, they're paying a mortgage with a home equity line, but they don't have the ability to refinance. So they can be stuck in a mortgage for the entire duration and pay an extra $20,000 on that loan simply because they can't refinance, but they do qualify. So that's where, when you do statistics, that's where the race card comes in, because it's, if it fell on the Caucasian, if those statistics fell on the Latino people in Ireland, the facts are the facts. But at the same time, what makes Ecredit so amazing to the American population, I have many friends, that are multimillionaires. They do well. They're pulling in $80,000 a month, but they're hurt they're mentally depressed, uh, being that something happened in their life, a divorce, the income level change, uh, was laid off or sick for a while. But they got their lives back together. They're educated, they're great networkers, and now their cash flow is back intact. But the credit report is suffering bad. They can't refinance, so they're paying a high interest rate, and that's not good. So Ecredit has a horizontal plateau that affects not only the minorities, but also the middle class, as well as the millionaire. It's just a modern day credit bureau with a lending division that can make this country a better place. When you take care of your people take care of you.
What is what is a good trigger that someone watching should look for to identify a situation where, oh, this is really for me. What's the trigger that someone should use to say, oh, I need to get with the Ecred program?
Several. One being that you are you have a certain amount of income. You want to free up some of that income, and you put that in your discretionary box where you can, maybe take a vacation or put some money away for your kids. But you're stuck because you cannot refinance that mortgage. You don't have to be a minority to be in that position. I mean,
Right, of course.
you can be a multimillionaire and be in that position. You want to refinance, but you can't. So we appear to several classes, but you know, just in reality, we look at if you look at a $475,000 house, a person making 75, $80,000 a year, it's a hot spot for us without question, no doubt, because it's an unsaturated market, and we have millions of people, Devin, that are waiting for someone to step up and say, look, I need a mortgage. I need a mortgage at this interest rate. I have the income to service that new debt structure, and I can do this. I just need a second chance. And that's what Ecredit is all about. It's all about creating second chances for our borrowers.
Gotcha. Now, right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Cleveland, but I think you are conducting a stock offering at the moment, raising some money. E, uh, the company Ecred is a public company, and you're raising some money in the stock market. Is that right? Can you talk about that, or are the lawyers going to tell us to shut up now?
No, we can because it's public. It's we got an S1 effectuated by the SEC, and we're selling 40 million shares at 50 cents, raising $20 million. And that those use of proceeds will be used to develop the portal. You always have to continue to develop, get stronger and better to make customer satisfaction even better. I mean, you're always dealing, with expansion, growth, adding on more employees, marketing dollars, the income statement requirements that it takes to run a successful business. In addition to
Sure.
that, we have the Ecredit Corp division, and that's our lending division. So we have to raise, second round somewhere around $500 million to $1 billion, to be able to service those loans.
Yeah. Wow. Uh, it's exciting to think about scaling up your business this way. I wish you every success. Cleveland, you've been successful starting in the earliest days of your career in the NFL. As you think about what has made you successful in your life, I sometimes call those core strengths our superpowers. What do you see as your superpower?
God has been good to me. I'm a believer. I have faith, and I've always had to work at things, Devin. I've always had to work. I don't know any other way, whether it's football, baseball, business, a lot of hours, a lot of times. I don't have any alternative solution to success. I don't have it. Maybe sometimes I wish I had, but it's every day. Going back to the drawing board. And as you get older, you face a lot of uncertainties that I was never introduced to. You grow up, your mother tells you, get an education. No one can take that away from you, but it doesn't promise you success when you wake up to reality one day. You're dealing with people, personalities, politics, things that should not be in the way. You should be judged by the content of your character, by your work ethics. Those are the elements that I think a person should be judged by. But unfortunately, life is not that way. You have people in very prominent positions, and they may not be the best person at that position. So what do? You gotta stay focused. Have faith and believe. You got to believe in something. So I just choose to believe in God.
Well, I think that is a powerful superpower, that faith. As you think back, I wonder if you'd share a thought, an experience, a story about when you really felt like you drew on the power of that faith, that belief in God, and that it changed the outcome, improved the outcome, helped you succeed. Can you think of an example?
Well, yeah, to everybody's life is different, and everybody's life is intriguing because everybody's story is different, and you learn, from other people's, testimonies or what have you. But in my experiences on this earth thus far, um, my success have always come at a time when I least expected it. I was pretty much broken. I had done all I could do. I had given it everything I'd given it. And I like for people to understand, Devin, you don't have to put pressures on the kind of pressure on yourself and say you're not worthy because you're going to make mistakes. Life is all about learning. It's a learning curve. And so that can be a double whammy. And I understand how some people can really sink under the ship because you let those mistakes that you're going to make, we all make them, you let it, you attach that to just the realities of tough times, the challenges of life. Everybody goes through them. But faith, it helps you to overcome. But my success came at times when I didn't expect it. Football, for an example, transferred from Georgia, went to University of Miami. Get to Miami, thought I'd be ineligible for 1 year, end up realizing I was ineligible for almost 2 years. I couldn't even play. So I practiced every day. Jimmy Johnson said, "Well, we just found some disturbing news. NCAA said since you got here in September, we thought it would be a year. Now it's like a year and almost year and a half, the whole season." So technically, I only got a chance to play 1 year of football. But that 1 year, I set a single season reception record that still stands to this day. I was a first team All American and was drafted. So what people don't understand, I struggled and suffered for 4 years of uncertainty. But during those 4 years, I could have quit. I'm not saying, for me, I never thought about quitting, but I was holding on. I was numb, but I was holding on. It's like that train is dragging you, but you just hold on. And my senior year, Jimmy Johnson, our coach, says, hey, it's your time. It's your turn. So you're so drugged, you've been drugged so long, drugged from the train, you're so beat up. So you go through that season, it's like I feel like nothing can stop me. What haven't I gone through? I'm just running through guys, you know what I mean? What
Yeah,
haven't I gone through? So it was the least most expected time. No different than business.
yeah,
But it's all worth it.
fascinating.
It's all worth it.
Yeah, fascinating. Now, you draw on this faith, this belief in God to help you, and this is a central part of who you are. Uh, so, how would you encourage other people to cultivate that same faith in God? These are difficult times. Right now, I think the world, the entire world, is suffering through the most difficult time that we have faced in at least a century as the world. I would argue that in terms of the universal nature of the problems that we're facing, and it just permeates so much. So a lot of people are feeling a need. What would you coach them to do to find that faith and confidence that allows for people to overcome adversity, like you were saying?
Hmm. Interesting. Devin, that's tough because I think about the pandemic, and 1 second. Sorry.
It's okay.
But I had COVID, and it was tough. Um, Pretty bad. Something that I wish no person ever experienced. You know, it gives you a different perspective on life. You start thinking totally different. When you're in the bed, when you're weak. I lost 20 pounds in 10 days. 20 pounds in
Man,
10 days, and so there I learned where you just have no answers. You don't think about anything. You think about um, just life, living. You don't think about job, money.
Yeah.
You know, So when you ask me that question, the answer I have is just faith, hope, believe. And it's interesting that you asked me that because that's a little tougher than hanging onto the train because man, you don't know, I don't, you don't know where that thing's going to move in your body. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit up all night, but it's just, I don't know. Just one moment at a time.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that good counsel, and I appreciate you sharing. But I think I hear you saying that for you, COVID was an experience that brought you to a point where, and I'm putting words in your mouth. You tell me if I'm mistaking what your meaning was, but I think you're saying that you reached almost a point where it was just you and God. That was it. It was you and God getting through that. It really required that connection and that faith to get you through it. Is that kind of what I'm hearing? I don't want to. I'm
Exactly.
afraid I'm putting words in your mouth, but that's kind of what I took from you, what you said.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you just people get tired, man. People get tired. People get tired. They just get tired, and some just can't hang on anymore. But
Yeah,
you got to have when just to feel his presence and know that he's there. You know that there's hope, and so it's so hard to answer because you know people that are not here anymore that passed from this traumatic virus and
yeah,
young. It doesn't discriminate. So
yeah.
that's a big question, Devin.
Yeah,
That's
no,
huge.
and I appreciate the strength of your answer and the insights that you provided, Cleveland. It is just a thrill for me to meet you, to connect with you. I grew up as a small kid in Utah as a fan of the Los Angeles Rams, and so it is a special thrill for me to connect with you and to hear your thoughts, your insights. I really want to give you an opportunity now as we wrap up before we close to just tell people how they can connect with you and learn more about Ecredit so that they can participate. Just take a minute and
Mhm.
share your social media, your website, all that kind of stuff,
Okay.
so people can
Well,
have it.
well, at ecred.com, you can sign up as a member. It's free. You become a member. What's interesting about being a free member, you immediately create your own business, no charge. Once you become a member, you log into the Ecred Business Center. That's where all the action take place. You have the ability to send out pre-designed templates where you can click a button to the social media world, send them to your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Twitter, and when they sign up, you get credited $75 because there's an embedded referral number in every pre-designed template. Or you can tell your friends, send them emails. In that email is an invisible referral number. That's your referral number. So when they sign up, it credits your Ecrit wallet $75, and every 15 days you're paid. You can create your credit report. It's $25 for minimum creditors, so that's $100. You have to pay for that service, but you have your own perfect Ecrit 950 credit score, and you pay your bills every month. It's a B2C model. It's not like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, which are B2B2C. Your creditor reports your information to the credit bureaus and they make it available to you, the customer. That's a B2B2C. With Ecrit, you pay your bills through the a secure bill pay portal. And when you pay that bill, it instantly updates your credit report. So there can never, ever be an inaccuracy. And when you apply for a loan, right next to that button, payments, is apply for a loan. So the Ecredit lending division gets your Ecredit credit report, looks at it, that B2C credit report, and say, okay, and make their credit analysis based upon your Ecredit credit report and your income to debt ratio.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, Cleveland, again, thanks for being with us today. We wish you every success with the offering and growing this new business to help people get that second chance at life.
Thank you, Devin, for having me. My pleasure. It was a pleasure.
All righty. Let's do some good. Thank you for tuning in to the Superpowers for Good show. Twice each week, we host changemakers who share their impact, insights, and superpowers. Don't miss another episode. Subscribe today at superpowersforgood.com. That's superpowers, 4, good.com. Be super empowered. Get your copy of the book, Superpowers for Good, as an ebook, audiobook, paperback, or hardcover edition via your favorite online retailer. Interested in having me speak to your company, organization, or association? Visit devinthorpe.com. Then let's talk. Now, keep using your superpowers for good. Together, we can reverse climate change, improve global health, and eradicate poverty.